What up, guys? This is Sean, aka High Roller 1969, coming at you today from High Roller Customs on a little video tutorial that I like to do every once in a while for you guys because I am a car guy. And today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do a brake job on it. And the thing that I want you guys to take notice to is that this brake job is like pretty much like a setup that most vehicles have. So this is nothing that's going to be like, you know, foreign to everybody else in the world. But the suspension system and the braking system is pretty much common on a lot of other vehicles. Pretty much the suspension to me looks just like a Dodge Neon suspension, other than just the fact that it's a little bit bigger. Honda Civic, same setup, you know, McPherson strut setup. Teach you guys how to do this real quick, whether if you're a first-timer or whether you're a do-it-yourselfer or you want to just save a couple dollars on your own. Maybe this video will help you guys out. So I'm just going to take you guys right into it. Show you guys the tools that you need, different ways that you could do this, and why your mechanics charge you so much. Yeah. All right. Let's show you the tools first. This right here is pretty much just like some of the basic tools and advanced tools. There's going to be like two different ways that we could do this here, and I'm going to show you guys, I want to show you all of them. This right here is like an advanced kit, you know, made by Matco. I call it a Whirlybird brake compressor. This is mainly meant for the backside of brakes, but you can use them on the front calipers as well. But not everybody's going to have one of these. Not everybody's going to spend $300 on this either. So we're going to move to more of a basic tool. If you're going to be doing brakes and you plan on long-term doing your brakes, I suggest you getting yourself one of these. It's a brake caliper compressor. You know, pretty much you squeeze it, and it pushes that forward, and it's going to compress the caliper on the piston. If you don't know what I'm talking about right now, it's okay. Please hang in here for the rest of the video. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Then we have our favorite tool, pry bar, or a very, very large, strong screwdriver if you have one, instead of a pry bar. Basic C-clamp, or C-clamp. This one here is just like your basic 3-inch C-clamp. And then, of course, your, you know, little socket set. Nothing too crazy. You don't need, you know, to spend mad money and go out and buy the best of the best of everything. So, let's take you to the vehicle and get you started here. Okay, so here's our vehicle here. And one thing that I want to do before I even get into it is I want to do a little bit of a visual inspection. It's just nice just to let the customer know what's going on, and, you know, yourself as well. So I'm going to check for tie rod end play, and I'm going to check for ball joint play. Okay, you guys hear that? You can see it. You can see it moving. See that thumping? Okay. Now that thumping right now is coming from the ball joint on the bottom of the vehicle here. Now, if it was wiggly from side to side, then it would show right here on the tie rod end. This tie rod end right here is a little greasy, grungy, dirty, crappy stuff. So I'm just gonna get that crap off my nice glove there. I'm gonna grease that up for her before I, you know, before I button this whole thing up for her. So if this right here had a play in it, then that would be your indication that you need to change your outer tie rod. Okay, in which case there is no play in it. Looks pretty solid. It feels pretty solid. Oh, maybe we have a little bit here. Nope. Okay, that's good. If you notice that, let's say that your outer tie rod end is moving, but it's not moving here at this joint, then the other possibility could be an inner tie rod, which would be located down inside of this boot over here. But the tie rods seem to be pretty sturdy, pretty strong. I'm just going to repack this right here with grease. Well, one thing I do notice is that the boot itself is ripped. I'll just mention that to my friend here. So, but the experience of the moving It's definitely coming from this lower ball joint here. I don't know if I can get you guys in there to see. Okay. Right here is the lower ball joint. Okay. Right there. Let's see if we get you a little bit better of a view. Okay, there we go. See, right here's the lower ball joint. There. You see that movement right there? Okay. You see that movement right between this right here is called your suspension A-arm. Right over here would be the bottom part of your spindle. And right in between here is your ball joint. So your spindle on this vehicle right here is moving back and forth, but the A-arm itself is not. Try to get you in there a little bit better. There we go. And you can see that play there. See that? Another way to check it is to get in here with a pry bar. Be careful not to rip your boot. Sometimes it's a good way to check it. Alright, well, that's okay. We know that it's bad. We could see that movement. So, that's a lower ball joint. And we will also, grease up this front end. Well, at least the tie rod here. We'll make sure that stays properly lubricated for the customer. Okay, so moving on here. This is your brake caliper. As you can see right here, this is your brake caliper piston. Next piece in. From that, this is your brake pad. As you can see, there is nothing left on there. Followed by your rotor, and then followed by another brake pad. So I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys the tricks here. You're going to love it. Okay, first thing I want to do is I want to get the wheel pointed out towards me. That's an interesting sound. I'm gonna have to address that. So anyways, here we are now. Sorry about that. There you go, boys and girls. First thing we're gonna do is we are going to remove this caliper. There are two bolts that are holding the caliper in place. One right here. And then there is one right up here. Now, what's holding the caliper to the vehicle is called the caliper bracket, which is right here. So we're going to remove that bolt as well, and this bolt right there as well. And like I said, this is pretty much the same on just about all vehicles. So I turn the wheel. That way I can have all this extra room in here for my camera and my tool as well. So bring it back out here so you can see maybe a little better what's so going on here. Get our light set up for you guys. This is my little studio for right now. Okay. You're going to remove that top bolt. And you're going to remove that bottom bolt. Now, these right here are called sliders. You want to make sure that these are free. You want to make sure that they slide easy. Reason why that they are so important, they really, really are important. If your sliders are bad, then you're going to have uneven brake wear, which is going to distort your rotor. You're going to have uneven brake pressure. It's going to be a mess. So make sure that these are nicely lubricated. Make sure that they move freely. This vehicle is a 2009. They feel great. It doesn't have a whole heap of miles on it, so I'm just going to leave these the way that they are. No need for repacking them. They got a great seal. So now we're going to go a little ghetto. And the reason why we're going to go ghetto is because I just want to show you guys, like, with just a few simple hand tools, it's not scary to do this job. Take out those 2 bolts first, obviously. Your next step is going to be to free up this brake caliper, okay? And you're going to want to compress this piston here. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, we're going to want to compress this piston here, and that's going to reset it. And the whole reason why you reset it is because you're going to be able to make room for the new brake pads. So I'm going to go ghetto, and I'm going to show you guys how to do this without the expensive tools. Okay. Just got to get something to bite on first. Oh yeah, before you do it like this, make sure that you're going to be replacing your rotors, because sometimes you can chip the rotors, and that'll lead to like an unbalanced rotor. A little bit of play here. Okay, now I pulled the caliper out a little bit, freed it up a little. Now I'm getting the pry bar in right between the brake pad itself and the caliper, not the rotor. Okay, and I'm gonna push this, and you can see this here is already compressing on the inside here. Okay, that's what you want. Don't worry about that crunching noise. We live in upstate New York, so we have rust. That's what that is. Okay. Now, at this point, you can see, you can really see how big that piston is here. So what we're gonna do, I'm going to show you 3 different ways. One way is, if this here was still on the vehicle, okay, you can actually compress the whole entire caliper with just your pry bar. Sometimes you may have to throw one bolt in place, just one or 2 of them, just to hold them in there. Make it a little bit easier. Bring it to this side. There. Okay. Now I'm not going to do the whole thing, though it's very, very easy to. I'm not going to do the whole thing right now because I want to show you guys the other ways. Now when you have a caliper in your hand, don't just let it fall and drop down to the floor, because you can pinch off your brake line, and you can actually have a collapsed brake line. It may look completely straight, completely beautiful and perfect, your brake line, but if you drop this down and you don't care about it and it's dangling there or whatever, that can lead to a collapsed brake line. So, here we have our caliper. Oh, it's actually resting real nice right there. It's good balance. The other way that we could do it is, if the pry bar method doesn't work for you, you could take an old brake pad from your vehicle. Okay. Just set it there in place. Take your C-clamp. Okay, looks like I'm going to need a bigger C-clamp. Okay. Be right back. Okay, what I discovered here was that I didn't need a bigger C-clamp. Instead, what we're doing is we're going to go through the back side of the caliper here. Okay. You guys can see that caliper there. Okay, yep. Okay, we're going to take our C-clamp with our old brake pad. And there is nothing left to that. She was definitely metal on metal. So, we're going to slip that to protect that piston. So you do not, absolutely do not want damage to that. We're going to set this over the top of this. There we go, just like so. And then we're going to clamp it. Okay. Now what that's doing is, yet again, it's pushing in this piston. You want to reset your caliper. Got to make room for your new brake pads. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the other way here. I got this in there pretty far. I'm going to show you the other way over here to do this. Going to leave, don't forget, your old brake pad inside there, just to keep it protected. I'll show you how this awesome tool works. This is like to the mechanic's dream. We are all very excited that this tool exists. Just trying to set my light here for you guys so you can see. Good enough. Okay. We're going to take this tool here, our compression tool, and we stick it in here. Okay. Okay. Let me show you what that's going to do here. I'm going to do this quick for you. Okay. I'm going to use two hands. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time because you got to let that fluid go all the way back up into the brake reservoir. Sweet. There we go. It's fully compressed. Now we're going to take this and we are going to carefully set it aside. There, so it's chilling nice and comfortably. I'm going to take you guys back to the back side here. Okay. You can see this old pad right here. Wow, yeah, there's nothing. Look at that, guys. There's nothing there. Alright. We're going to want to make sure that these are real clean. The grooves. Sure there's no rust in them. We're going to remove the back two bolts here. Probably two sizes up. Yep. Okay. One. There's two. Take those two bolts out. Don't just take your bolts out and throw them in the dirt, please. Be responsible, respectable of them. Okay. And this here is our rotor. Okay, we're probably gonna have to beat the crap out of this to get this thing out of here. Which is not gonna be the best thing for that ball joint. Give it a couple light taps. She'll come right off for you. Now, I'm going to show you the next step. Alright, so here we have our wheel bearing. Just checking for axle play. Yeah, they're decent. Okay, now, see all this rust in here? That's what had that bond. That's why that rotor, just now you had to use a hammer to get it off. A lot of times, rotors, they just kind of fall off as soon as you want to do them. Usually, like, as soon as you take the tire off, they just kind of flop around. But, you know, some vehicles, they're, you know, they have an attention to, or an intent to bond the wheel bearing to the backside of the rotor. So to correct this problem, if you plan on doing your brake job again yourself in the future, or you just want to be a considerate person to the next mechanic, take a little bit of grease, or what I'm using here is anti-seize, and I'm just going to put that onto the wheel bearing here, give it a good covering. That way, if I ever have to come back in here, which more than likely, after I know this customer, she's a good girl. She knows how to take care of her vehicle pretty well. Well, she has me take care of it, but more than likely, I'm going to be back in this vehicle again to do that bad lower ball joint. So I want to be considerate to myself so that I don't have to go smashing up a brand new set of rotors to get to the ball joint. So that's why I'm painting this anti-seize up on here. Okay. I'm also going to put a dab on the lugs here as well. Or the studs, sorry. No, you guys need to be politically correct. Gotta be politically correct when it comes to freaking cars, too. Anyways. Okay, so you take your brand new rotor. Make sure to wipe down the insides with some sort of degreaser, or I like to use lacquer thinner or brake cleaner. But you could just, honestly, if you're not really worried about it, just throw it on, whatever. But I clean them before I put them on, because when you get them in the package, they have a plastic package around it, and that package contains an oil so that these rotors don't rust. I mean, who the hell wants to spend $40, $50, or whatever it costs on a brand new set of rotors to have them be rusted? That's not cool. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of grease. You get them like at the store in those like little tiny packets, you know, they're like 50 cents or whatever. Alright, we're going to take a little bit of grease, and we're going to stick it right where the brakes are going to be riding in. Because your brake pads move, believe it or not. Your brake pads are going to move back and forth with compression of your brake pedal. You want to always make sure that your brake pads are sitting on a little metal tab. Sometimes you get them brand new. Sometimes, you know, if they're decent, you could just keep on reusing them. They're fine. But you want to make sure that you have something in there. You need to have a metal shim between the casting of your brake caliper bracket and your brake pad. So, a little bit of grease, just to, you know, keep them nicely lubricated or whatever. Okay. Now, we're going to take this, we're going to install this back into position. Here, just in case, I'll bring this back here for you guys to see this. Now, I don't want to use anti-seize on these bolts. I feel that if you lubricate a bolt that has something to do with your safety, you have a chance of it ever loosening up due to vibration. Don't even bother taking that chance. Just put it back together, you know. Zap it in place. Okay. I'll make sure I got the light there for you guys to see. I'll put my gloves on so I keep my pretty hands nice and soft and clean for the ladies. Now before you take a caliper, oh yeah, I'm jumping to conclusions here, ain't I? Let me explain this real quick. These are your brake pads, okay? This right here is known as a squeaker, okay? A squeaker is a safety precaution. When you start hearing your brakes like really squeak, it means that you don't have any brake. Okay, so now we're gonna put our brake pads on. Right here is called a squeaker. Okay, you want to make sure that the squeaker is always at the top. So we're going to install that, right? It's going to sit right into that channel nicely. It's going to fall in together like a little puzzle. Perfect, look at that. No movement and play up and down. We're going to do the same thing for the outside here. Just going to take it. Oh yeah, this is another thing I want to say. If you can't get your brake pad in, sorry, I had dust on there. If you cannot get your brake pad in, you know, the first time, real fast, perfectly, don't worry about it, alright? It's going to take you a second. It's normal, it's fine. You may have to set it in at an angle like this. See that? To get it to fall into place. Okay, next thing comes the caliper itself. Like I said, make sure your slides slide back and forth easily and freely. Take our caliper, make sure that your brake line is straight and that there's no kinks and all that other jazzy jazz. Okay, see how nice that went on? Real simple. Push your slide in and the caliper will fall into place. Okay. You don't need to crank crazy hard on these. You know, I'm using like this big ass snap-on air gun. Okay, because they're just little tiny bolts. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, if you have aluminum wheels, this is so important. Got the wheel on. As you can see, I don't have the lug nuts tightened yet. Guys, use a torque wrench. Seriously. Look it up what your manufacturing specs are for your lug nuts. In this case, for this vehicle, it is 90 foot-pounds of torque. Okay. Here you can see, this is going to be so hard to get an auto focus on, but there we go. I have this set to 90 foot-pounds of torque. It's just really difficult to try to get a camera to zoom in on this here. Maybe it will. Yeah, but anyways. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, as you can see, we do have it set to 90 foot-pounds of torque, because that's what this right here is requiring. So, to save a little bit of time, just buzz them on a little bit. Okay. Take your torque wrench, make sure you have it set right to manufacturing specs. If you are unaware what your manufacturing specs are, seriously Google it. Google has the answer for you. You don't need a manual for this. And also, when you're doing lug nuts, go start on one. Doesn't matter which one you want to start on, and then bounce around from one to the other, directly across from it. Okay, so like this one, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that sequence, and then afterwards, just to double check everything, I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way around. That's just something I like to do. I go 2 clicks. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. There we go. Now the next thing that you want to do, the next thing that is a must is that you've got to pump your brakes. Pump them until that they get like rock hard. I'm talking like dick hard. That's what you need to do. Jump in your vehicle before you even think about moving it. Don't even start it yet. Pump your brake pad or pump your brake pedal until it gets nice and hard. When you do that, that resets everything. That puts your brake pads in the position that it needs. It compresses the brake piston inside the caliper. And pretty much that's all that there is to it. So I know that this has been like a pretty long video because I'm just showing you guys like a how-to, but I'm going to go do the other side, and I'm going to do it at my speed. Yeah, like the mechanic speed. So you guys will want to watch this because you need to have confidence in doing this stuff. I have confidence. A lot of the other wrench turners around here in the world, they all have confidence too. So I'm going to show you true speed. No talking, no explaining a whole heap of stuff. I'm just going to go for it. So let's go to the other side. Okay, here we go. Real time, real speed, guys. Time is money. Cleaning the rotor. Brake pads. Oh. There. Here it is. Couldn't find that second bolt. right side socket. Okay. One thing I want to check, what else is wrong with it? See how she's got that play there? I feel it from left to right. I don't feel it up and down. She needs an outer tie rod on this. I can feel it. Okay. Okay. Now, like I said before you even start the vehicle, get yourself into the vehicle, compress the brake pedal slowly, right down to the floor. Okay. If you don't do this before you start your vehicle and you start moving it, you're not going to have brakes for a little while. That could be very dangerous. Okay. There, it feels good. Now we're going to take the car for a test drive, and we're going to make sure everything works. Make sure that the car stops, how well it stops, and you know, obviously feel for any vibrations or anything like that, so we could check the wheel bearings while we're taking the car for a ride. So let me open up the shop door, get my coat on, I'm gonna go for a ride. Okay, here we are now in the customer's vehicle, and one thing I notice is I could definitely feel the bad ball joint on the driver's side, and when I go over bumps I could definitely feel it on the passenger side. So I'm just going to take this thing down the road on some smoothness. She needs back brakes, she needs back rotors, I can feel it. But they feel good, they feel really nice. The car stops really, really well. Okay. So we're just gonna go for a quick tour down this road here. A little side street, there's nothing here. I mean, there's nobody, you know. I'm gonna put the vehicle in reverse, and I'm gonna see how she does backwards. A little brake check, backwards. Beautiful. Feels good. I don't feel any pulling or anything. So, this brake job has been pretty successful. I like it. The car feels really smooth up until you hit a bump. Once you hit a bump, then that's when you start experiencing the ball joint and the tie rod end on the other side there. So I'm gonna go down this road over here, and as soon as I'm gonna hit pause on the camera for a second, and I'll let you know when we're on a dirt road, because this dirt road is pretty bumpy, and I can feel everything on that road. So I'm gonna put you guys on pause for a second. Okay, so, oh, sorry, that's blurry. Get into focus. There we go. Okay, so here we are on this dirt road here. What I'm listening for are squeaks and bumps and bangs, things like that. Yep, there it goes. I just heard it. The squeaking that you hear right now is she has something in the back of this vehicle. It's squeaking. It sounds like styrofoam or something. I don't know. I don't go through people's vehicles. But on this road, I could definitely feel it in my steering. I don't feel any inner tie rod play really. I feel only the outer tie rod play, especially. But she definitely does need a ball joint. So, anyways, I'm just gonna conclude this video right now. I mean, I did good, and I really hope that these videos help somebody out here. You know what, let me just get up here and pull over for a second, so that way I can look at you guys and talk to the camera correctly. Oh, what kind of creepy. It's kind of cool. I like this little blue mood light that this thing has. Alright, so anyways, like I was saying, I want to thank you guys for watching my videos and subscribing to them. Please leave any comments at the bottom, questions, comments, complaints, rants, whatever. Compliments are always a plus. Everybody likes to hear compliments. If this has helped you guys out in any way, or if you guys have any questions, leave it at the bottom. I respond real quick to my people on YouTube. Also, as well, check me out on Twitter and Facebook. I'll put the links at the bottom. I'm HighRoller1969, and you can also find me on Instagram as well under that link. Tell your friends, share the video if it helps you out. And guys, don't be afraid. Get the confidence. Just do it, man. Keep turning wrenches. So, all right. I am Sean. I am out. Much peace and love. Thank you for watching.